undefeated in conference play. Tough place to play here today, and yet you guys completed the mission. You got to be happy with that.
Well, it's not what we were thinking about. It was playing better. It's playing off of one another, completing each other, not trying to compete with each other, and we're doing that. Our team's getting better.
Good gosh, guys, you will not wait on a guy. My goodness, welcome to the Red and Blue Review. Thanks for waiting. Not.
No problem. As Daryl said, March Madness waits for no man.
Right. And we're here. Welcome to the show. We're finally through with the preamble to college basketball. Now we get down to what matters. It's tournament time. Howie, I don't know if you've heard or not, but Daryl's team went undefeated in the SEC.
They look
undefeated indeed, and along the way scored more than 49 points in doing it.
Oh,
that's quite an offensive juggernaut you've got over there in the Derby City, my friend.
Howie Lindsay with Louisville Sports Report. His team is going into the tournament like, yeah, not good.
It's called thoroughbred basketball. It's fast-paced. It's moving up and down the court. You just don't hit a lot of shots.
Yeah, and you better watch where you step.
Oh, man.
That's why it's thoroughbred
It's all over the place. Louisville's really struggling. I tell you, I did get amused, though, at Cal's comment about, you know, the second best team in our league is definitely an NCAA tournament team.
Yeah.
Right? He was talking about Tennessee. Yep. The second place.
Well, honestly, the SEC was awful this year, but we'll get into that and much more as we jump into the lightning round. Round is brought to you by the Kentucky Office of Highway Safety, who are reminding you now as you're heading to spring break and on to March Madness and all that, click it or ticket. Well, who's hot? Of course, the Kentucky Wildcats going 16-0 in the SEC. The Cats finished off the perfect finish to the season because Terrence Jones got off to the perfect start.
You know, and Terrence Jones was hot early. You know, driving to the basket, getting an easy layup, so we kept going to him. So there was no need for us to score, and I just had to do my job defensively and let the game come to me.
Tell me about your play in the transition, in the full court. I know you played some guard in high school. It looks like you like to handle the ball in the full court.
Yeah, most definitely. Trying to show my guard skills there, and I saw Mike driving down the lane with me, not doing the pass, and he wasn't finished. I was in the right place at the right time for the putback.
All big men think they're point guards. It just happens that Anthony Davis used to be one, so he has legitimate ball handling skills. Heard one of the TV announcers say after the game today, when Terrence Jones plays the way he did in this game, nobody's going to touch him. And if you've noticed, if you're paying close attention to UK down the stretch, these games late in the year, Calipari is moving Anthony Davis farther and farther away from the basket, letting Terrence Jones be the heavy force inside, the strong guy who goes bangs. One, Terrence is really good at it. Two, you don't want Anthony Davis in foul trouble during the NCAA tournament, so you're tweaking this. He's tweaking the system as it goes along. Very smart move, and this team is absolutely on fire.
And Daryl, one of the other things I noticed in the Florida game was how far they're allowing Davis to drift away from the post defensively. He's at the point on the defense with those long arms. He's messing up everything for these offenses.
It's ridiculous how much havoc he reaches, and it's so fun to watch. Like a Kenny Boynton today, drive in there and think you're going to do a floater. Are you kidding me? Come on. Everybody has to learn the hard way, and that's a good thing about the NCAA. Once we get past the tournament, you haven't seen these teams before, so they'll learn the hard way too. But yeah, you're right. They're doing more and more with Davis. Keep him out of the paint. Keep him out of foul trouble.
Who's hot for the University of Louisville? We voted on Russ Smith because, frankly, there was no one else. And Russ says the key to Louisville being hot is to start seeing some baskets fall early.
I don't really know. Just probably keep my confidence. I mean, I've been putting up a lot of shots, so it just has to go in. And once it starts going in, then that'll be a good thing. And that's for everybody. Once we see shots going in, then we become a really good team.
That's the definition of a streak shooter. And I've never heard of it before, but we're going to coin the term a streak shooting team. The entire team is a streak shooter. If they hit a shot early, hit a couple shots early, they look like a much different team. That's what was so odd kind of the Syracuse game, though, is that they did hit a couple shots early, and then it just like ice set in. Like the ice age came in, and you know, the frost up in Syracuse got to them, and they just couldn't hit anything the rest of the way. But certainly Russ Smith is about the only guy right now that does not look scared to shoot. The rest of the guys, I don't know what in the world's going on with those guys.
I just don't think they're very good basketball players. I mean, that's the honest-to-goodness truth. I mean, I think Rick has tried to do the best he can with the bunch that he brought in and recruited. But if you look at them, Howie, you've got guys that are honestly, with the exception of Bohannon, I think you got a bunch of guys in there that aren't as good as Louisville fans want their players to be.
Well, I would go with that, except the same crew, almost the exact same crew, plus a McDonald's All-American, were top 5 in the Big East last year. I don't get it.
I don't get it either. Hey, let's talk about the next item on the agenda, which is what's not hot. is Cal's love for the SEC. He's going to go down to New Orleans. He's going to try to win it, but it's not his favorite week of the year.
Then we go down to New Orleans, and again, you know I'm not a big tournament guy. Don't like tournaments. Before the NCAA tournament, I don't like 3 games in a row. But guess what? We'll be there with bells on and ready to go.
At least he's starting to play a little nicer. First year the NCAA or the SEC rolled around his first season, he basically said, "Fans don't like it. I don't care. You hired me, and that's what you get." Well, he's learned to be a little more tactful, and in this year, he's absolutely right. This tournament is a waste of time in terms. It's not going to improve their seeding. It's not all it's going to do or hurt it. It's not going to make them. It's just going to make them play 3 games in 3 days and then turn around and have to play Thursday in Louisville with a short turnaround. Now, you know, there and that, there's not going to be a lot of benefit to that. If you're going to lose, if you don't like the tournament, lose to Florida in the semifinals. Don't you dare get the championship game on Sunday. Then once you're that far, you might as well play hard and go win the thing.
Well, and that's what Rick Pitino did in '96.
Yeah.
That team that won the SEC with an unblemished record, they ended up losing to Mississippi State in the championship game in the SEC and went on to win the whole deal.
Yep.
Well, what's not hot for Louisville? Howie mentioned it a moment ago, the problem they have with their shooting. In fact, against Syracuse, the Cards missed 21 of 23 threes. They flat just don't have any shooters right now.
It's going to come down to, you know, it's always been that way. If you have shooters on the perimeter, they're going to knock down the shots. If you don't have shooters on the perimeter, it's going to be difficult to make shots. You know, Russ Smith is good in a wide open game. He's not a good spot-up shooter. He's not a good three-point shooter.
8.7%. That's what Louisville shot from three-point range.
Oh, my gosh.
8.7. That's not a scoring average. That's not a rebounding average.
That's a shoe size.
That is much less than any of these guys' shoe size. I mean, that's unbelievable. And it was clanking from all different angles. I mean, if you did a shot chart of all these different shots, it would look like one of those hoops with all the different. It would look like a spoke on a bicycle. They missed from every angle you could miss from.
The buzz at the University of Kentucky is Darius Miller. Most of us got to know Darius, introduced to him on the Rupp Arena court as a high school player leading Maysville to the state championship. He played his final game in Rupp and was pretty good then too.
Where does he rank in like home wins? Does any other player here that played have, in the modern era, 50 straight home wins like he has? Think of what he's done along with scoring, along with rebounding. How many NBA players has he played with in his time here? Incredible stuff, incredible career. And he did it by sacrificing some of his games so the team could step forward, doing things that he needed to do, and he grew each year. Now, you know, we do what we're supposed to, and he continues to go, and he's going to have the opportunities he wanted. You know, he's going to be able to chase his own dreams. And
I don't know that I've ever run into a player who has sacrificed more of his game for the betterment of the team than this kid had. You notice during the Florida game, Darius didn't play a lot of minutes, but when Florida cut it to 2, who hit the key basket? Yeah. Darius Miller did. He only had a few points on the day, but he hit it. Those guys know if they got to have a basket, they go find Darius, and he is on pace to be the most unheralded, most decorated Kentucky player in many, many years. He's Kentucky High School Mr. Basketball, state champion. He's got AAU or Team USA medals from the Pan Am Games, potential NCAA championship to go with what would be 2 Final Fours. Are you kidding me? And in between, he survived the Gillespie deal. He is a survivor and decorated.
The buzz at the University of Louisville is the fact those guys are looking desperately to find a shooter. It may be Angel Nunez.
Try to get Angel ready, even though he makes a lot of mistakes. I've got to get him ready going into this tournament because I do need another shooter in the game. Got to teach Kyle a little bit to play the 2, and I've got to get Angel ready to play. He has looked a little bit better in practice. Just got to get mentally thinking of the things he has to do.
Hey, here's what has some fans pulling their hair out in addition to the losses. He says this about Angel Nunez wanting to get Angel more experience and got to get another shooter out there. And then against Syracuse, I'm not sure he played 30 seconds. I'm not sure we even saw Angel Nunez. We certainly did see Wayne Blackshear, but Louisville is definitely looking for another scorer. They're missing an Angel. They need some scoring Angel to come down to earth and help them out a little bit.
If you haven't found a player by March, he probably doesn't exist.
That's the trouble.
Would kind of be my guess. And I tell you, Howie, our Facebook fan poll, there was a lot of concern about Louisville bowing out of perhaps both tournaments very early. Check out this note from Brian Sanders. Tight games with DePaul and Pitt, losing to struggling Cincinnati. I smell a first-round hat trick for Louisville.
That's what's scary. I mean, you know, they've got the first round losses recently. They need to win some kind of game in the NCAA tournament. We all realized back when, you know, all the injuries happened and Wayne Blackshear wasn't there, Kevin Ware wasn't there, that this was not going to be the Final Four Elite Eight team that we'd hoped. But you still need to lose. You still need to win a game. I mean, I realize you don't have all the pieces. You still need to win an NCAA game. Got to, just to make people feel a little better.
Hey, it's not just my sweater vests that are stuck in the 50s. So is the University of Louisville. We'll explain that as we come back. As we head to the break, Daryl's going to tell us about the 16-0 version of the catch ball.
We appreciate it. Forward looking, just like Calipari, eyeing the prize is the cover. This week's issue not even out. Yet another sneak peek we throw out there for the fans. Via mailboxes on Tuesday, eyeing the prize. Kentucky begins. They're hoping 2 trips to New Orleans. The first one is the SEC tournament. The second one, of course, would be the Final Four. 35 issues right to your doorstep. 800-641-3302.
Have you driven a Ford lately? Well, stop by Allstate Ford and test drive a new Explorer or F-150. Or visit us online at allstatetrucks.com. Allstate Ford, on the Watterson at Poplar Level Road.
When you need a truck, Bachman Chevrolet is your truck headquarters. I'm Teresa Bachman. Even during our construction, we have more trucks than any other dealer. Silverado, Colorado, Tahoe, or Suburban, Bachman is your #1 Chevrolet truck dealer. Nobody beats Bachman's price or selection on any Chevrolet, including Traverse and Equinox. Chevrolet has what you need, and Bachman Chevrolet has what you want. Bachman makes the difference.
Hi, I'm Kevin Renfro, owner of the Becker Law Office. Our focus is personal injury law. I've been asked if that means just car wrecks. Not at all. We help people who have been injured because of unsafe conditions, product defects, drug side effects, denial of disability benefits, and other tragic injuries. No matter how you've been injured, call the Becker Law Office.
Serious, experienced, results. Call the Becker Law Office for a free evaluation. Just dial 3s.
We're the secret family. Our family is just like yours.
We have a lot to be thankful for.
We used to take a lot of things for granted, including each other.
Until one day,
when in an instant,
a drunk driver almost took it all away. Now we cherish every moment together.
We have to.
Because we might not be as lucky next time.
What about you? It happened to us.
It can happen to you.
Join the club at Sam Swope Auto Group. When you service a vehicle at any Sam Swope dealership, you automatically become a Service VIP Rewards member. You get member pricing on parts and service, lost key return, and emergency roadside assistance. Plus, you can earn points that qualify you for discounts on your next vehicle purchase, up to $2,500. The best part is becoming a member is free. Become a member today at any Sam Swope dealership. Nobody walks away because everybody saves.
The 2012 Bluegrass Golf Tour Card is available now. Play 8 great courses for one amazing price. Call 502-964-2121 or go to shop21live.com to get yours now. Hurry, they won't last long.
I didn't speak a lot about you. You guys spoke about it.
What is he talking about, Howie?
Fight Club. You don't talk about Fight Club.
Oh, yeah. Well, let me tell you what we are going to talk about. Nothing is sacred on this show, believe me. Coming up in our Game Time storylines, our items include the SEC tournament, offensive woes, good shooting, and the Big East is next. Well, as you may remember last year, the Kentucky Wildcats seemed to struggle on the road. They got well once they got home. And this team, well, as they're heading into the SEC tournament, they're on a bit of a hot streak.
What this team is doing is they're playing together. Again, 16 assists, only 8 turnovers. We're back to where we were a year ago at this time with a totally new team, freshmen and sophomores and Darius, and we're not turning it over. And think of the turnovers we had. Terrence threw one into this first row, and Marcus threw a lazy pass to the wing where they got a layup deep. That's 2 of them, and that's in the last part of the game. And short of that, we had 6 turnovers. Are you kidding me? As fast as we're playing, as much as we're attacking, they're making easy plays.
Cal has a conundrum here. His team is playing better than anyone else, and yet here we are heading into this SEC tournament where you're going to have to play 3 games in 3 days, and he's not keen on that because you'll be tired heading into the NCAA tournament. The problem, who's going to beat them in that upper bracket? Are you kidding me?
Hey, Darryl.
Yes, sir.
You could take an all-star team from LSU, Arkansas, Alabama, South Carolina, and still not beat Kentucky.
That's true.
Now,
You're absolutely
you
right.
throw a couple of Florida players in there, it'd be
Maybe,
a ball
yeah,
game.
yeah.
But those are just 4 dreadful teams. And that's one thing about the SEC. The reason why, well, Kentucky was good this year, but that conference was awful.
Yeah, I mean, 10 and 6 tied for second place, and that was Tennessee, which came out of nowhere. And give credit to Tennessee for playing the way they did, but it was down year. You're looking at a possible semifinal rematch with Florida. Florida couldn't beat them at home. They're not going to touch them in a neutral court, which won't be neutral because of the Big Blue Nation descending upon New Orleans. Alabama should have been a lot better. Kentucky's going to, if Cal wants to get out of town, he'd almost have to do it on purpose. Eloy Vargas is starting, along with Brian Long. We're going to the house. We'll see
Stacey
you.
Poole is back.
That's right. We'll see you boys at the Yum Center. We're going home, which is not going to happen. So, and like I said earlier, if you're going to make it to the final, which they are, you might as well win the thing and just go ahead and enjoy it, which gets us to the lower bracket. That's where most of the other good teams, you got Tennessee, Vandy, and then that's about it. The other side of the bracket is Pitt. Mississippi State falling apart, Ole Miss players exiting with their girlfriends. It's a mess on that side of the bracket. Vandy, I keep waiting for Vandy. They should be better than what they are.
Darryl, we told you last year.
They're
How
not
did we
good.
not tell him last year?
Louisville beat Vandy. That's all you need to know.
Yeah, Howie's already told me he's going to whoop me if I pick Vandy in the NCAA tournament like I usually do.
Oh, we'll bound and
Maybe
gag
it'll
you.
be a UK-Tennessee final. That'll make it a lot of fun because of the rivalry there.
Now, Vanderbilt or Tennessee could possibly beat Kentucky in a championship game.
Absolutely,
That
they're right.
Those are the only
Tennessee's
teams
got
with any chance.
Vanderbilt's got better players in their record shows. Tennessee's got a lot of beef inside. They could really show, here's what you do if you try to beat up Anthony Davis, you might pull off a win and show other teams how to do it in the NCAA.
As we've already talked about on this show, the offensive woes continue for the University of Louisville. The Cards have not scored more than 58 points in 4 straight games now.
I mean, it's frustrating because we're falling into the team's hands sometimes and playing a slow-paced game, trying to speed things up with our press, we press the line. We just got to keep at it and eventually it'll play.
That right there is the face of frustration, Mr. Kyle Keurig. They want to play fast. They need to play fast. They need to be in a transition game. They need to get the pace rolling. Teams just won't let them do it. The teams know that if you slow Louisville down, their half-court offense is so bad that they're not going to win.
Yeah.
And so that's what Syracuse did. That's what South Florida did. And that's probably what teams are going to do in the NCAA tournament. Louisville's got to find more scoring options. Either that or artificially speed the game up some way. I don't know how you do that.
Yeah, I would say the only way I would correct you on what you just said, that would be team singular in the NCAA tournament. Because I don't think they're going to get more than one game.
That's the trouble.
Probably just one. Well, Louisville's problem is Kentucky's nirvana, if you will. These guys are making everything. You got Davis hitting the dunks. You've got all the dribble drive offense. Now the three-point shooting. It doesn't stop when it comes to the UK offense.
We'll beat you by a bunch when we shoot it like that. And that's what happened today. I told Mark after, I said, we're a team that makes 6 threes a game. Not even 6. We make 5.5 threes a game. We make 15. That's 30 points, and what we beat them by? 30 points. We shoot a high percentage of threes, so probably we should shoot more. But, you know, I just like layups and dunks better than threes. And so we want to get to the rim and
That was on senior night when UK hit 15 three-pointers against Georgia, and the sound you could hear were clipboards of other coaches being thrown in the air. You got to be kidding me. They've got Davis, they've got Jones, and now you're going to tell me they're going to come out some nights and hit 15 three-pointers when Deron Lamb and Darius Miller, Kyle Wilcher has improved so much from the start of the season. I don't think I've ever seen a team with this many weapons and so many different ways to beat a team. And oh, by the way, they're the best defensive team in the country to boot.
Well, the Southeastern Conference and the Big East do have this in common. It looks like they got one really good team and a bunch of teams that are just so-so after that. Jared Swopshire, who's had more than a little bit of experience playing in the Big East tournament, says this is one of those years when there's quite a bit of parity down below Syracuse.
The biggest thing, from my experience is just, paying attention, to the details, because that's what it comes down to. I mean, everybody's pretty much on the same level, in the Big East this year. So, anybody can win it. So it's going to be the little things, especially defensively, that are going to separate teams.
With this, I'll agree with Jared Swopshire. Essentially, there's one really good team in Syracuse, and then about 14 others that can all beat each other, and then you got, I would say DePaul and Providence at the bottom, but Providence beat Louisville. So let's say 15 others that can all beat each other. With Louisville, I mean, essentially...
Let's have them find Louisville, first of all. Second row, second from the bottom.
You got it. Number 7 seed Louisville is going to play the winner of Seton Hall and Providence. Now, that's not a bad draw for Louisville. Those are both teams...
Wait a second. Providence killed them.
Yeah, but that was a fluke. Absolute fluke. And you know it was a fluke. That was the worst game that Louisville's played in a long, long time.
Paging Howie. That was a 30-point fluke. Paging Howie.
Louisville beats them by 20 if they play again.
Okay, we got it.
Yes. So Seton Hall Providence is that first game. They get the winner of that. And then if they win there, they go on to Marquette, a team that they had down 18-2 without Kyle Keurig. Wow. Certainly Marquette came back to win that game. But of all the draws that Louisville could have had, you know, they could have seen Notre Dame in that next round. They could have seen Cincinnati in that next round, Georgetown in the first round. I mean, they could have had a much tougher draw. They can get out of that. Now, the question is, will they? Can they find enough offense to beat these teams?
Yeah, I mean, Seton Hall, Marquette, and Notre Dame, that's all you have to get through. That's not asking the world.
It's really not bad.
It would help if you score more than 49 points, but that's not impossible.
Howie, give me your gut going into this thing. What do you really think they're going to do based on the performance you've seen in the last few weeks?
I think they'll get hot. I think they'll win a couple games, but then they'll run into Notre Dame or they'll run into Syracuse. And those teams play smart, and they're going to slow Louisville down, and Louisville just can't handle that.
We come back on the Red and Blue Review. You'll hear from Cal with his latest challenge to his basketball team. Hey, after you go undefeated in your conference, how do you tweak them to go a little bit higher? You'll hear that when we come back. But first, here's Howie talking about CardinalSports.com.
You got it. The best place all the way through the Big East tournament. Check out CardinalSports.com. We've also got men's post-game reaction, women's post-game reaction. It's tournament time in Louisville, so check out all that. We've also got football recruiting if you're not into the basketball thing these days.
The 2012 Bluegrass Golf Tour Card is available now. Play 8 great courses for one amazing price. Call 502-964-2121 or go to shop21live.com to get yours now. Hurry, they won't last long.
Have you driven a Ford lately? Well, stop by Allstate Ford and test drive a new Edge or Explorer. Or visit us online at allstatetrucks.com. Allstate Ford on the Watterson at Poplar Level Road.
Join the club at Sam Swope Auto Group. When you service a vehicle at any Sam Swope dealership, you automatically become a Service VIP Rewards member. You get member pricing on parts and service, lost key return, and emergency roadside assistance. Plus, you can earn points that qualify you for discounts on your next vehicle purchase, up to $2,500. The best part is becoming a member is free. Become a member today at any Sam Swope dealership. Nobody walks away because everybody saves.
If you're like me, you're dreading the thought of higher energy costs this season. That's why I call my friends at Doug Jones Home Improvement, who's been doing quality work at a fair price for over 40 years. Doug Jones Home Improvement offers maintenance-free replacement windows, insulated vinyl siding, and airtight entry doors. They're priced fairly with no high-pressure sales tactics or hidden fees. Doug Jones Home Improvement prides itself on keeping the weather outside while keeping you comfortable inside.
For a free estimate, call us at 366-0291.
When you visit Kentucky and savor some of its unique experiences, you'll be surprised by how much your vacation really comes to life. To plan your Kentucky vacation, call today or visit KentuckyTourism.com.
The 2012 Bluegrass Golf Tour Card featuring Chariot Run, Bardstown Country Club at Maywood, Rosewood Country Club, Indian Springs, Cave Valley Golf Resort, the Falls Golf Resort, the Bull, and Stonecrest Golf Course is available now. Get your golf tour card and play 8 great courses with cart for one low price. Call 502-964-2121 or go to shop21live.com to get yours now. You can play anytime, but you must get your golf tour card now.
You know, John Calipari seems to have figured out exactly the buttons to punch with this basketball team after their undefeated run through the SEC. Now he's punched one more button as they head into the postseason, and the theme of this one is, what have you done to help your teammates lately?
My question to him, again, this was yesterday, what do you do to help us win when you're not scoring? Well, you all know what Michael does. He didn't have to score a basket from Anthony, but I'm asking them all, what do you do when you're not making baskets and you're not scoring to help us win? Because there's going to be games that you're not making shots, so you got to make sure you're doing other things.
It's fascinating for me all the years I've been doing this. It's fascinating to be around someone who's always 3 steps ahead of the game. What are you going to do at this time of the year? He spends a lot of time having little team meetings where they just talk, and he talked then. What are you going to do to help your teammates if your game's not on that night? Last week it was, are you guys slowing down to appreciate how fortunate you are to be on a team this talented that gets along as well as they do? Appreciate that moment that you're in right now. It's trying to get them to savor what they're doing as they go on their way to try to win what, of course, everybody wants is an 8th national championship.
The difference maker at the University of Louisville during basketball season is, of course, the football coach. Charlie Strong invited a bunch of kids over from Cosair Children's Hospital and the Indian Summer Program to have a little fun running at U of L.
Just for this camp today, it was a camp for cancer kids. And you just think about the chemo, you think about the radiation, just every day what they go through. And now they have a chance to come out, just have fun. And I've got our players out here and just teach them how to throw the football, how to catch the ball, had a chance to see our facilities and just get a chance to run around.
This was such a cool event. I could have stayed there for 3 hours taking pictures and video and seeing the parents just as happy as they possibly could be watching their kids learn from Teddy Bridgewater and the Cardinals, and they got a chance to throw the ball and everything like that. It was just really, really cool. Kudos to Coach Strong.
That quarterback's better than the one Kentucky had against the Tennessee game.
I think he's a wide receiver.
They Okay, hey, it is finally here. March Madness. Hopefully it won't turn into March Sadness for any of us, but if it does, we'll track it for you here on the Red and Blue Review.
The 2012 Bluegrass Golf Tour Card featuring Chariot Run, Bardstown Country Club at Maywood, Rosewood Country Club, Indian Springs, Cave Valley Golf Resort, the Falls Golf Resort, the Bull, and Stonecrest Golf Course is available now. Get your golf tour card and play 8 great courses with cart for one low price. Call 502-964-2121 or go to shop21live.com to get yours now. You can play anytime, but you must get your golf tour card now.